Hey, welcome back. If you're new here, hi, my name's Angela. Today we get to talk about the difference between the Krimson Queen and the Krimson Princess. So two different Hoyas that are very similar. I'm going to help you learn to identify both of them, and then we'll go over a few quick care tips. All right, here we go. First, a few things that you need to know about Hoyas if you're brand new to them. They basically thrive on neglect, which means they are perfect for me and my crazy lifestyle. So if you are a very busy person or you just forget to water regularly, then Hoyas are probably really great options for you. So they thrive on neglect. They like almost near drought-like situations. So they can go a long time between waterings. They like tight pots, so they don't need a ton of space to grow, and they don't need a whole lot of feeding. So you can go a long time without fertilizing them and they will still grow beautifully for you. So if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw that earlier this week, I ran through Walmart, but I just picked it up and put it in my cart without actually even looking at it. Isn't it gorgeous? So I got this at Walmart this past week for $15 maybe. It was a hanging basket. Great price, I think. It's huge, it's full. But it is a lot different than my Krimson Queen that I have here. Okay, so the leaves are actually very similarly shaped, but there's a couple main differences. All right, so let me start with the Hoya Krimson Queen. So this is also actually, the official name is the tricolor, and it's because the newer leaves, I guess this is kind of my only one, the newer leaves that come in have a little bit of pink to them, but that slowly fades as the plant matures. So the way that you can identify this plant is that the Krimson Queen has all of the variegation here along the outside of the plant. Along the outside of the leaf, just like a queen would wear a crown, right? The princess does not, she wears like a tiara, not the crown, right? So the crown goes all the way around on the top. So all the way around on each leaf, variegation on the outside. So then the Hoya carnosa rubra is actually the princess, the Krimson Princess, and you can see the new, I think these are peduncles. They have a really beautiful red tint to them. Maybe you can't see because of my shirt. There you go. But they're absolutely gorgeous. Some of the leaves have no variegation, but if they do have variegation at all, it's going to be on the inside of the leaf or the center of the leaf. Now the variegation can be pink on new leaves. Oh, that's a little hole there. But it can be pink on the new leaves. So it kind of can confuse you because this is the rubra, not the tricolor. The pink will fade as the leaf matures, but you can always tell that the variegation is in the center for the princess. All right, so let me give you a few quick care tips, just basic Hoya care tips. First of all, they really love well draining soil. I use a cactus mix, and even though this plant doesn't have any drainage holes in the pot, I just make sure that when I fill it up, I let the water kind of sit in there for a minute to kind of get everything, because I go a really long time between waterings. I'm talking probably 3 weeks. And then I hold the top and I dump it out over the sink to get all the excess water out of there. And then it usually does really good. But like I said, I go 3 weeks, sometimes maybe even 4 weeks between waterings. As for light, they need, indirect light, never direct, and it has to be bright to medium. Like you can see, this room is very well lit. I don't have any lights on and it's the afternoon, so no lights or no direct light, but it definitely needs bright or medium light. So don't put it in the corner. It's not gonna thrive. It might live for a while, but it's definitely not gonna push out beautiful new growth with great colors for you. Then these long tendrils here, okay, each plant will have its own set of tendrils, and you have to make sure to never cut those because that's where you're going to get, here's a good example, that's where you're going to get the new growth from, okay? So if you are continually cutting them off, which you could to propagate, but it's going to stop the growth, so it will push out from other places. So if you want a really bushy plant, of course you can do that, but if you want to have a long trailing trellising beautiful Hoya like this one, then don't cut off these long peduncles, I think is what they're called. Call them a tendril. Now, I don't have any flowers on this plant yet. It's pretty immature, but if you have a Hoya that flowers, make sure you never cut off the dried flower because it's gonna flower from the same spot on that peduncle every time, okay? So just a quick tip, just never cut them and you'll always get beautiful blooms from that happy, mature plant. Okay, final tip, they like to be root bound. So yes, this is not a huge plant. It is definitely twice the size from when I got it as a cutting from a friend. But it's going to stay in this pot until it absolutely maybe is tipping over because it's so long and the pot is so tiny. But you can see how, let me do a little juggle there. You can see how many, I mean, this is so dense in here. There's not a single place where you can actually see the soil down in there. There's so much in there, and this is what, an 8-inch pot, okay? And it's heavy, but that's just because these leaves are so thick and waxy. So you definitely don't need to worry too much about these being root bound. They like it, so let them be. And part of that too is that the more soil you have, the wetter and soggier it's gonna be, and they're not gonna be happy because they really like that well-draining soil and drought-like conditions. So a little bit of root-bound plant is an okay thing. All right, so I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about Hoya identification or care, drop a comment below and follow me on Instagram too if you aren't already, because you can send me DMs, you know, any pictures of any plants you're having a hard time identifying, or if you have a problem with your plant, which we all do. I've killed so many plants. I can definitely help you out with any troubleshooting that you might need, okay? So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, like I said, let me know. I'm here to help. Our plant community is just the best, and so I love chatting with you and learning and seeing pictures about all of your plants and your struggles and overcoming them together. So I hope you had a great time today, and we will see you in the next video, okay? Bye.